I swear it's nothing to be worried about. Like, I promise you, I speak on behalf of all of us. When I say we just chopping it up, I promise you, we just chopping it up like round table discussion. It's all or nothing. Building over thoughts you wouldn't walk through the public. Connected like the plug is. The outlet is the line from top to bottom. It's whatever's designed, and it's Gucci behind these doors up here. Get it all in the clear. We'll check something, but it's all sincere. So book them, Danny. Line them up like they in a faded throne. Cause nobody ever became great alone. So if we faded, then we faded. No, we all tapped in.
Hi, thank you for doing the Choppin' It Up here at Faded. I got my first lady,
Danny.
my co-host,
Sincere.
me, your host Gucci. We brought our favorite guy in from freaking Cape May. Tell us about yourself.
Name's Pete. I do tattoos and such. I've been getting my hair cut by you for a few years. Yeah, one of the best friends I got, and just happy to be here.
Yes. What else you got going for yourself, Pete? Before we get started, tell us about your ventures and your businesses and the things you got going on.
All right. Well, I guess first and foremost is Rock of Aegis Tattoo Shop in North Cape May. Just shout out to the crew over there. Yeah, we're a new shop over there. We just opened up in July last year. Things are going really well. We offer permanent makeup as well. So if you're in the area, please check us out. If you're in the area this summer, we also work with a couple shops in Wildwood, New Jersey on the boardwalk, Oxygen Tattoo and Love Rock Tattoo. Feel free to stop over there. We'll get you some nice work done over there. Walk-ins anytime, every day. We also have a Rock of Aegis Technology Company. We do business consulting. We have custom software available, CRM software, just things to kind of cut down on all the waste, save you some time running your business. From calendars to social media posts to credit card processing to calls to texts. We can put together a package for you that really, is suited to help you run your business the way you run it. Really kind of nail down the way you flow with how you work and get you the tools that you need to be a little more successful than you are at the moment. Hopefully I'm not forgetting too much.
What's your social media tags?
First of all, you just gave us a lot, my man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
So this is why he's my man, though.
We do
I'm trying to tell you, I know some great people.
So no, I mean it's just personal philosophy tends to be. I mean in business as in life, we one hand washes the other. Yeah. Find good people with good hearts on them, and just get it done. So I mean anything you need getting done, just like like my man right here, we do a million things. Any time of the day, people will let me do them. As does my business partner. Shout out Sassy. Should I say Kyle for business purposes?
Hey, Sassy.
No, that's the man right there. I mean, we tend to be two of them psychos that run a good 24 hours a day if you let us. We got big hearts on us, great family around us, working with us every day, and really it means a lot. It's something real big for me to be any kind of positive impact on anybody's life and see some positive changes go on. So tattooing, I get to see that. Somebody comes in for the first tattoo, nice and nervous, then get them out by the end of the day, having a really good experience with us, a really good memory.
I've been injured. Y'all saw that. I'm suing.
Can we pause real quick?
Oh, shit.
We're gonna keep going.
All right, we rolling.
Go ahead, give me your social media hashtags. Oh my God, I'm having a concussion.
All right, Instagram, I believe it's rock.aegis. Rock.of.aegis. Just search us up on social media. It's fine. I don't really care for the promo thing too much. I tend to prefer to do the behind the scenes, word of mouth kind of thing. So I mean, just tuning in, checking us out here, and doing a search on social media or Google is fine with me. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, look, we're gonna jump into our subject today. This addiction and how it affects our lives. So let's get started. I heard you were addicted, sir. Name some of the things you were addicted
The crazy thing is that how he comes straight from me. Man. He's like, he loaded that gun and said, all right, come on, man. I'm proud to say that I did have issues. But I first want to touch on the fact that what people fail to realize that addiction can be anything. It can be sex. It can be bad relationships. It could just be you. And I can say that I was probably one of every single one of those type of scenarios because I was addicted to bad relationships, stuff I knew that I shouldn't be a part of, but I just couldn't strap away from. And I feel like ultimately that's what addiction is. It's something that's it's hard for you to just
pull away, that you don't have no control over, or you find excuses or reasons to continue to do that. I dealt with substance abuse, where I thought that I was doing stuff because I felt like it gave me the what I needed to get to the next level. And it's good to have a platform to be able to speak on it, because when you have, like you spoke about earlier, family, people that care about you, or you just want to do for other people, you have to realize that you are taking those steps to really set a foundation. So if you having a bad habit that you don't have no control over, it's going to affect everybody around you. You know what I mean? To your kids, to your parents, to your friends, to your job. I mean, and it was a battle, and it took me wanting to stop to develop growth. And until you wanted to stop, like my mom, she had the same thing. And sadly, I fell into that same trap. And if you can see the cycle and understand certain things that happens within life and try to stop it, sometimes I don't want to say you don't have no control in what substance or addiction you come across, but rather if you see the signs, even if you see a sign of someone else going through similar situation that you might have gone through, or you know someone that is paying attention to your surroundings. It's a touchy subject, and I got more to say, but
You gonna hand it off this way?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it. I mean, I know in my life, I've had my addictions here and there. I feel like I manage mine. You know, I like my weed, I like my drink, I like my sex. So you know, basic stuff. But
and porn, you gotta.
I love my porn. Episodes ago, I heard I was super depressed because statistically, But I've lived not a life of addiction, but I live around so many people who've been addicted. And I've watched how their lifestyles have affected my life. Parents. I mean, I watched my mom deal with it. I watched my dad deal with it, and it was more so how I was taught to grow. Like, you can be addicted and live. My dad, he was a functional alcoholic. That man would get up every morning, go to work, come home, drink. And I ain't gonna lie, I think my dad, when he was drunk, he was more fun, because when he sobered up, it was like, oh, damn, we back to reality again. Mm-hmm. And then I watched my mom just like toss everything out just to be happy. Like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and get the boyfriend who's gonna steal all my CDs and my kids' stuff. But I'm gonna love him to death and keep on supporting his crack habit. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do crack with him. Mm-hmm. So, growing up in that kind of stuff, you don't get what I call the right answers. You get, what you get, and you try to make do with what you have. But, their lifestyles definitely affected me in a sense where I feel like I got a late start to life, because I was so used to seeing one thing and then trying to be successful, not knowing how to get rid of certain bad habits from watching my parents live with it, and they've just made it
Your
happen.
process was so you develop your own process to deal with the situation.
And even then, for me to develop my own process, it took a long time, because coming up one way, now you got to unteach yourself everything you were taught. Mind you, you're halfway through your life at that point, so you're like, oh snap! Now you're trying to redevelop. You're bumping your head trying to figure it out. But here we are today. I'm not gonna say I'm clean, but every day I got my battles. Like Danny knows, we like to smoke from time to time, and I've not smoked with her in some time. We used to come up here every Monday and just drink, and I'm like, you know what? Let me stop doing that. Let me start clearing my head up a little bit. Let me start actually honing in on things that I need to get done. I mean, not to say that the bad habits were getting bad; they were fine. But if I can do without them, I can do without them. So.
See, that's the thing, is that to me, I don't see it as an addiction. It's definitely a bad habit.
Yeah.
But to be addicted, I don't.
I can let it go when I'm ready to let it go, so I don't.
I have a control issue though when it comes to things that affect me in my life. Soon as I see that it's something that can control me type thing, I'm automatically like changing it.
It's funny. My uncle told me that same thing. He's like, I don't know what you doing, man. You over here smoking cigarettes? He said, I'll never allow cigarettes to control me.
Right. I can smoke and I can put it there. Like you said, you haven't smoked it, and you haven't smoked in a little while. I feel like I could do the same thing, but I choose not to right now. Why? Because it's my bad habit. that I like right now.
Yeah.
Me personally. But I can say that, like, within my family, you know, I grew up in Atlantic City, you know, so to, you know, even if it wasn't within my immediate, and when I say immediate, I mean within my household, you know, you always got, you know, go to the, you know, the family cookout, you always got the cousin or the uncle that, you know, is doing, you know, doing what they doing type thing. But I can say, you know, looking, you know, outside, you know, in our neighborhood and things of that nature, seeing the effects that was in it. Also, my father was a big drinker. He was a functioning drinker like how your father was. He cleaned his act up when we got older, but by seeing my dad go through what he went through, I think that's where I got that control problem from.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, as soon as, you know, oh, I'm not drinking, because I remember how my dad used to, and I didn't want to, you know, get to that point. But addiction is not something that I've suffered from.
I don't think I've suffered.
I have bad habits.
That's why I try to give it a broad, because when people sit over there, I've had what I would like to call serious addiction. I mean, PCP.
You a rebel.
You know what I mean? Like it was the area that I was in. It was acceptable, and I think that has a lot to play with.
And shit, huh?
What? No, I don't. Pause. I don't know what he's. You know what I mean? But I can say this: I wasn't in my right state of mind. But in a lot of these drugs, that it's people. For me, I did it to step away from the reality. You know what I mean? To keep me on a so like I can laugh about it now. It wasn't funny then, and whoever's going through it, it's not a funny situation. It's a hard situation to go through, but I'm able to laugh at it now because I can talk to someone that may be going through those same struggles that I had went through at that point in time to really help them. Like, oh man, dang, you did it? Like, yeah, dog, yeah, I did it. And we can take that journey if you willing to take that journey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But more importantly, that it don't have to be that harsh drug. You can be in a bad relationship. You can be
addicted to chaos.
Addicted to chaos. You can be literally, especially
There's
nowadays.
a lot of people out in this world that put chaos in their vicinity because they don't know how to function without chaos.
I think once you get to the life altering kind of end of the bad habits, like once it turns into something that's negatively affecting your life or just affecting your behavior, your habits. Like once you got to take on extra hours at work to cover something. Like once you got to, dress a certain way to cover something. Like once you got to start saying certain things to certain people to cover for stuff. Like all that just turns into such a big snowball rolling downhill if you let it. That's why it's, just talking about, even with the cigarettes, like your uncle, like talking about that, like that's a beautiful thing. Like if you know yourself well enough and you can put your foot down hard enough and got the discipline to just cut it right there, like that's always going to do you some service. I mean, addiction is definitely something I've dealt with. Pretty much, the majority of people I've known in my life have dealt with in one form or another. Back where I came from, me and a lot of my friends got into drugs young, very young. Thankfully, I was done with them young. But just that being what it was, you see a lot of people come and go, and most of them way too young. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, especially nowadays, man. They put. Not to cut you off, but to put insight on what you're saying. Younger ages, I'm talking about like 90s, 80s, like they had bad drugs. They probably had the same drug that's out still right now.
Oh, that's still out, yeah.
But the stuff that people are just putting into stuff nowadays, it's a whole epidemic. And they're like, how they, there's a lot of orchestration and a lot of the drugs that's out right now that's killing people. Young.
Fentanyl's cheap.
You know what I mean?
Fentanyl's cheap and easily accessible. Like it's worse than it's ever been. Like when I got into heroin, I think most heroin for I believe the country came in through New Jersey ports, and I believe the average purity from where I was getting everything from whatever was about 60%. So like you got the hookup somewhere, you got that 80 if you want it, and even that wasn't anywhere near as dangerous as what's going on now. So it's like heroin all by itself. Like just for a point of reference, I believe the heroin that Janis Joplin OD'd on was 4% pure. and we were getting, you know, at the lowest is 60%, unless somebody really stepped on it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and even that was nowhere near as dangerous as fentanyl. Like that was, you know, like
I mean, you can't even touch it. Like pure fentanyl, you can't touch it.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying?
Breathe a little bit in,
It's a
nothing.
wrap.
Just
They got to
over.
hit you with the EpiPen. You know what I mean, or something to revive you and hope you come back. It's not even a guarantee. I mean,
EpiPen ain't gonna help you with that.
well, I mean,
that's also when you get into that, just on the darker side of addiction, like that's, like death is something like that's it's an acceptable risk. Like that's just a side effect of what we're doing. Like I expected it. Like no one I was running with expected to live past 22, and like I tried to like shoot for the moon for 24. Like yeah, it's like it is what it is when you're in it. But I mean, definitely escape, like you were mentioned, is the thing. Like it's, you know, reality, my head, my thoughts. Just cut it. Just cut all of it. I'm good. You know what I mean? Like give me that corner on the rug right there, and you know, I'll see y'all in a few hours, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like once. Like my thing, just getting into drugs, I guess an addiction I dealt with in an unhealthy way in the past was just people. Like I've been privileged to know a lot of beautiful people in my life. Unfortunately, a lot of us were damaged in a number of ways, and drugs is kind of where we went. So, and once that I identify that as like my friend group, and that's where I get all my love and comfort and all that from, like I'm riding it all the way out. Yeah. If that means I'm dying at 20, like cool, like you know what I mean. Had a good time, like whatever. I wouldn't have spent
like you
it
put
any
the
different.
stamp on there, like it was a done deal. I understand that because again, like when you said you Atlantic City or where you come from, Philly, Cape May, when you surrounded by people who are hurt or alone or just going through something, when you find that like mind of people, no matter what their habit is, you'll find yourself because y'all have an equal bond. So that equal bond is going to make you go ahead, even though you know, like, man, I ain't really trying.
It's a trauma bond.
You know what I mean? It's that trauma bond. And you sit over there and you start, but when you see the signs, and for you, for me, it was my mother. You know what I'm saying? It was for me, like, even though it took me a while to break those habits, it was, I had to want to do it for myself. I had to understand that for me to be around people that I cared about and I love, it was either cut the association if I can't help them because they don't want to help themselves, or just really just walk away from it. Like, because me hanging with them wasn't going to get no better. It was just going to be a continuous cycle of just, well, you know, what we going to do today? Just going to get high. And like you said, it wasn't about no, like, I'm a big boy. Like, I literally did it because I knew I'd get amped. And I go, we do 100. I saw one boy, it was me and another bigger fella. We sat on this guy. This boy had to be like 110 soaking wet. And he's doing push-ups. He's like, come on, we're going to do push-ups. I'm like, bet we're going to do push-ups.
He got retarded.
He wouldn't stop doing push-ups.
Right?
So he's like, yo, man, like, stop. You're going to burst his heart. I'm like, yeah, all right. Big boy, he get on it. He's still going, but now he's straining himself.
Yeah.
He's putting more pressure on him. Yeah. And we were like, yo, we got to.
But the drugs got him on go.
Had him on go. But that was a thing to see that even after that, it wasn't something. It took my own personal thing to make me stop. Sometimes you got to go through your own situation. You got to put your back against the wall. Some people, like I said, like, yeah, man, I don't like people controlling. Some people need that.
Yeah.
I got to hit rock bottom for me to understand that this ain't right for me.
Right.
It ain't the end of the world, and that's why I'm grateful to have platforms like this.
And that's where my trauma bond comes from. I sat there and watched so many people fall on their face the way that they did, and I would not fall on my face, at least like that.
I ain't gonna lie, I mean, I fell on my face, but it wasn't hard. It was like,
Right, and
I was watching
not like that.
I was watching important things. I'm losing important things, and I'm like, damn, and I'm so pissed off, I'm so this, I'm so that. Let me go gravitate to what I know makes me happy in the moment, and I'm realizing that's not making shit no fucking better either.
I've destroyed and rebuilt my life so many times over.
I mean,
you know, everybody, it's you know, like
that is life.
It is. I tend to like with drugs and everything. I tend to be a little extreme on things. Like, you know what I mean. I tend to go 100 miles per hour if I can, and sometimes.
Are you an extremist? Like when you say you're going to do something, you do it.
I've been told recently that's the case. Like, you know, starting off just doing push-ups. I was doing like 10 at a clip, like a few times a day just to get them in. Now I'm doing I think like a set for me today is like 40 diamonds, 40 wides, 20 archers, and 10 one arms on each arm. So like, and that's like way too much. Like it ain't, you know what I mean?
Hey,
like,
way too much. You look good, bro.
Well, thank. I appreciate it. I'm just saying it's unnecessary, sure, but like, you know, it starts off with a little thought in my head where it's, you know, see too many movies. You can't do, if you challenge me to do 25 push-ups right now and I can't give them to you, like I failed in that moment, and failure isn't a thing I'm big on.
And the good thing is too is that you got that, you changed your addiction to something healthy.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is hard for people to do. Like, what you could be using that time to be doing, you ain't doing that no more. Like, the stuff what I could be doing, I mean, when I tell you, if I wanted it, I go get it. It don't matter if I was in a different town, different city, it don't matter. If I wanted it, I'm going to go get it. Now, oh yeah, I'm cool. I'd rather go do something else because it's up here and it's in here. So I keep God first. Because without him, I'd have been fell back into that situation. You know what I mean? But to keep that healthy situation that you got, man, your story right here, that's motivation
Absolutely,
to keep me.
to have you sitting here
right,
today
and
sit out all them businesses you was just saying you were into. That is amazing.
And that's the
As soon as you leave, you're going to do 5 push-ups.
Well, I'll say just to speak up for the addict real quick, like for anybody that doesn't know, if you're out there running, like the amount of work you put in as a proper addict, proper addict, as a proper addict, improper human being, reciprocation, like whatever it is, like
the lifestyle that you got.
I mean, the amount of work you put in, like that's, you know, you wake up in the morning, it's work. Like the second you wake up, you got to get something for something somewhere. Like this amount of things you got to turn over in your head 1,000,000 times a day. You got to outwit everybody in your path, whether you do it, you know what I mean? And you got to deal with some harsh consequences. So it's the kind of thing, like I know translating like the drive to get drugs into something else doesn't always, it's not like a one-to-one kind of translation.
It don't work for everybody.
Yeah, like when you get the right kind of purpose in your life, if you find just a little bit of that, just the right kind of person to care about, hold on to, the right like goal, just something, and just throw, like you can move mountains, like all of us can one by one, like, you know, and that's, like my business partner had some of his issues with things. He's involved with me in the 2 businesses we have together. He's also got a cleaning company. And again, like we're expanding, like we, you know, like affiliate tattoo shops. I think we're up to 5 on the list. You know, we're working on branding, we're working on bringing our own tattoo convention coming. Like, so there's like a whole lot of stuff going on. And as long as you got the wherewithal to kind of deal with what's coming, nice and fluid, like you're out there, you know, collecting money to go get a fix somewhere. Like it's the same kind of thing. It's just most people don't build themselves into something that can handle like 24-hour input on anything, and that's like we're humans, we're creatures of vice. Like that's why drugs come in, that's why addiction comes in, all of it.
Absolutely.
You know, we want what feels good, and once we find it, we're not trying to let it go.
Yes.
So you just, you know, you got to find, like there are things that are legal that feel good, and there are things that won't eat away at your humanity and won't eat away at the end of your life. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of redirecting the energy into something positive and finding the right kind of people to keep around you, in my experience anyway.
Yeah.
And the question I got, because was most important, is the fact that you said you had to rebuild your life. I understand that. To get to where you at right now, because now you're doing something different, you're doing something beautiful. Like the courage and the power that you got right now is to be able to speak to people. It's not like backlash or cancellation. It ain't about that. It's about helping someone else. Like, what did you have to, like, how long did it take for you to get that, for people to look at you that knew you and was like, all right, this ain't the same person?
I mean, as far as being taken seriously, I guess, and kind of shedding a little bit of that reputation, I mean, it's like anything else in life, like actions speak kind of a thing. And I mean, I went from jail to rehab to 3-quarter house to walking out to the bus at 5 a.m. to working 2 jobs to walk out to the highway and catch a bus back at 1 a.m. I've been fortunate enough to have a very lovely mother in my life, raised single mom. She's really, you know, as long as I'm willing to put forth the effort, she would never hesitate on anything. And that was, you know, just moral support from her along the way really pushes it. I mean, in terms of the people around me regarding me as something different. I mean, thankfully I've always had, you know, however misguided and I was and mistakes I've made, intentions were always in the right place. And that's thankfully a lot of people were just kind of waiting to see me, you know, be the man I wanted to be, kind of a thing. So, you know, once they see the work getting put in, they start coming around a little bit. Trust is still really hard to come by. There's still those people that'll just, you put them through too much, they're never going to want to come around you again, or just want to stay at a bit of a distance. The good ones are all of them. They don't really deserve what some of us do to them. But the ones that stick around are the precious ones that you gotta hold close. Like in terms of building a business after all that, I mean, I never really put too much thought into what I was, or I didn't wallow too much in my nonsense. Like I always got to keep my head busy, and thankfully for me that that tends to be productive things. Otherwise, I did too much damage as an addict. I had to set rules in place. So like manipulation was my thing especially when heroin was in the picture. Mm-hmm. So I had to just cut line altogether, because once I end up finding an in somewhere, and I start, you start playing that game with somebody, like that's a whole nother addiction. Like just, you know what I mean? Just in terms of like a power complex kind of a thing. So like that just all had to be cut. Then at a certain point in my life, which was a little more recently than I'd like to admit, it's whole just, I don't want to disappoint my mother anymore. Like once you catch that look on her face, enough times, like it's more than enough. And then, just really in terms of motivation for myself to turn me into what I am now, it's, seeing, like you see fear in people's eyes. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure you recognize it when you see it. Like it's something that you don't ever want to voluntarily put on somebody's face. You don't ever want to put that kind of feeling in their heart because of your actions. So like seeing, like walking up to somebody that I just want to be in the moment with, just want to love on, just want to have a good time with, and seeing like a look of like fucking terror in their eyes because of something I did, because of the way I'm coming off and all that. Like that's, I'm all the way back off that. So it takes a lot of just being mindful, identifying the small problems when they pop up, and putting some kind of spot fixes in there, and leaning on people when you can. It's difficult, but it's nowhere near impossible. Especially now, it's a lot more. All this is a lot more acceptable. I mean, addiction in general is, unfortunately, but in terms of coming out of it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, there's like the recovery community is what it is. I disagree with a lot of what they do these days. Just in terms of like easy excuses and like relapse being a part of recovery, which it is. I'm not a big fan of the clean slate. Every time somebody comes back after doing something, that they know they shouldn't do, they let themselves down.
It's a habit.
Yeah, it turns into a really, really bad cycle of just, you clean up for a little bit, show the right things to the right people, maybe get a couple things in your life you didn't have before, then throw it all away, go back out. Then they got open arms, you come on back, and you just repeat the cycle. And I mean, if that's the way you want to live, I'm not gonna try to stay out your business with it, but it's just not.
But you feel as though
me.
that's harmful more than helpful.
Incredibly destructive. Like I can't tell you. I mean, if I really sat down and tried, I'm sure I can give you at least 50 names right after this recording of people that put their all into the recovery processes. They were in the rooms, they were at IOP, all of it, and and they really hung their last hopes of everything on the words of these people. And again, it's up to the individual at the end of the day. But when you're buying into a culture like that, and you're surrounding yourself with people who wholeheartedly believe it, like with like religious kind of vigor, like you know what I mean. And that's, if it works for you, cool. But a lot of us with too strong an intention and too strong a feeling about things, and really getting overzealous for the work. To better ourselves and everything, it can get really, really daunting when you're in the rooms and you're doing the work and you expect everyone else to be, and then it comes up that everyone popped dirty on a drug test because everyone just did whatever.
You guys are all just friends,
and they don't view it as any problem. Not even the person
getting
running
the
whole thing. So
it became a check now. Y'all, as long as y'all in here, we getting paid. I got another question, if y'all don't mind.
Oh no,
this is for First Lady and Gucci. What would y'all do if you had someone close to y'all? I mean, not to put no judgment, but I'm saying, how would y'all react? How would y'all help? For people that's out there that don't know how I reacted. Shoot, it came to a point where I had to. I mean, you can trust that someone's going to try to change, but then if you don't see it happening, you got to start thinking more self-preservation. Like I used to watch my mom take her boyfriend back all the time, and every time he came back, I was down a CD, I was down a PlayStation, I was down a pair of shoes, all because she wanted this man in the house. And I'm looking at her like, look, let him steal your stuff. I don't have a job. I'm not allowed to have a job. I can't buy my own stuff, and you're not replacing stuff he's taking from me. So I learned quickly, like after a while, it's okay to love somebody, but I can love you from the other side of the world. It's real easy. So I've learned to set uncomfortable distance. Like, you're not gonna get to me, I'll get to you.
That's pretty much what I learned. Boundaries. I'm a big boundary person. I'll throw a boundary up very quickly. What you do with you in your life and in your world, as long as it don't leak over here.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand that. I can feel it, and more importantly, I respect it because I understood, because dealing with people, and that was sometimes the outlook, and not because I love y'all, and I'm not that same individual. You know what I mean? As far as taking walks, but ha ha ha. All right, but in reality, is the fact that every day is still a struggle. You know what I mean? It only takes 1 second. Y'all can sit over here all day. No, I never had that problem. But you have your back against the wall and get put into a situation where you depression, a loss, anything that you felt like, oh, I was strong, I can handle it. Because I think that was the most important why I fell short where I fell at. Because I thought I can handle it. I could do it. I picked up a cigarette because I saw my homies do it. And I'm like, man, I could just smoke this cigarette. But I didn't. I didn't have the self-control.
I smoked cigarettes for 8-9 years straight, and then one day woke up and was like, "This, I don't like the smell of it," and I just stopped the next day, literally.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just like for my uncle, like even when he said that to me, he said, "Yeah, it's all right." But his mind said, "I'm not going to do something that's going to have control over me."
Right.
Where I sit over here and I go out, instead of me going there and get me some food, I'm going to get me a bag and I'm going to just go ahead and chill off that. No. I mean, for those people that right there, I think that's when we need to band together even more. I mean, if the person doesn't want to be helped, full transparency, you can't help that person. I don't care what your addiction is. If you don't see that you have a problem and don't want to get the help, ain't no helping you. You know what I mean? That's when the boundaries really, truly, you really draw that line in the sand. But if an individual really wants to help, I think that's the biggest thing with the recoveries, is because the people that go and put their whole heart and their whole spirit into something because they believe that y'all gonna help me. And then you go to those situations and be like, all right, we'll help you, but understand, you're allowed to do this, that, and the third. Like, that's the same way. Like for my mother, and the stuff that she dealt with, it was because of her area. She refused to move out that area. You know what I mean? That area was where...
I just want to believe it was because of the area we was in, but I realized my mom, when we moved, she found those areas of being.
Mm-hmm. It was granted.
Absolutely. It's not hard
They can introduce you to it.
Right. It's not hard to go up the block and be like, yo, where do you find?
But when you want to make a change, when you telling people that you ready to stop, that's my thing. When you telling people that you ready to stop and you ready to make a change, you get out of the area that you're at. I'm not saying that because you can go. I don't know nobody really around here that really sell too much weed for you know what I mean? But if I wanted it, I can go and get it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but I'm saying this, but if you don't want to do something, can't nobody tell you, hey, Danny, give me your number.
Right.
You can be like, Sean, you gonna go ahead and punch you in the face. Gucci, let's go rob the store. If you don't want to do that thing, you ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And even if it's a struggle and it's a battle, because you know your limitations and you know what your battles are, and it's a hard, but they say the first time is just admitting that addiction. I'm glad you're taking your steps.
Thank you.
You stay away from them.
It's okay.
Ew.
Yeah. Pause. Double pause.
I felt offended.
What in the world? What in the world? No, come on, man. You got to draw the line in the sand. Line has been drawn. You know what I mean? And I can say this right now. I know one of the biggest things that truly helped me, and I don't know if you can relate, is laughter. Laughing at that pain, because there's some silly, stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And looking back, like, I would never in my life ever. You know what I mean? Do those things and be like, I'll never let that control come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I gotta laugh at it because it's funny because I understand here, and my God, I'm walking with him, so he gonna let me fall short to those certain circumstances. And it's a beautiful thing, man.
What I will say is even seeing the things that was around me, having the examples that was in the neighborhoods, and it took for me to lose my my father, you know, a big person in my life, for me to be like, damn, I can see how niggas become alcoholics. I can see how people submerge into, you know, just wanting that escape, just wanting that, you know, not to deal with what they're dealing with in the moment, and it just taking them away. So I can definitely see how people slip into those type of addictions.
Rest in peace to my mother as well, man, because it was definitely when she passed away, it was definitely how everything she had did up until her time of passing, how different it could have been if she had stayed sober and remained sober, and like at least a part of her life where she could have did something to really, you know what I mean? It really was like, man, she came down and it was hard. It got harder as she got older. It didn't get easier.
Right.
Like once our youth and our mid age is gone, that's it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What you got.
You can't sit here, all right, I'm 50 years old now, let me go ahead and get my stuff together, get a good old job and get a 401k. No, it's a wrap.
It's not a rap. You still go get a good old job with a 401k.
Granted,
it's probably won't, you know, be robust.
Realistically, at 50 years old, if you trying to get a job in this economy right now, and no, I'm sorry, I had to completely, it's hard for me, I'm 40. You know what I mean? I got a 401k, but my 401k, I get a message, they say,
it's
hey.
hard for you, but it's not impossible.
It's no, I would definitely agree with that.
Pick up a trade, we got you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's, again, too, that's when the avenues start coming up. That's when you start looking at people, start looking like, all right, well, how can I benefit myself? That's you also, too, wanting to do better for yourself. But if you sit over here with 50 years old, and you like, I'm going to go ahead and get me a job and expect that job to go and take care. We had a podcast, you know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like employment is never going to be able to take care of you. You got to know you got to figure out how to take care of yourself. That's all. I mean, but it's not impossible. You can always change. And don't make it seem like because you've been around long enough, you know, that you haven't hit a certain goal, that goal's unattainable.
There's a lot of resources out there too, like around, and that's one very good thing I can say about just recovery people in general is that there's always, you know, like there's always going to be some people with education, resources for education, for jobs, for babysitting, like pretty much anything that you need that would be some kind of stressor to put you back out there. Like there's people that at the very least can sympathize with that and can help you address a need. And in terms, I mean, employment after addiction is what it is. If we come out of it with a record or whatever, it's, you know, they're kind of cooked in a few areas. And I mean, I'm just somebody who's always preferred. I mean, I'm not built to work for somebody else, really. Like I can't, you know, like you put me in one of the roles with a boss, and like unless things are absolutely perfect, like I just want to die. Like you know what I mean? Like there's just there's no reason for it. So I mean, to find something you enjoy in life is kind of like the main thing for me. But in terms of employment, like something you enjoy doing, like we were talking about earlier, something you could stick to, and something with some kind of passion behind it, even if the passion is just behind the money that's gonna, you know, afford you to provide a better life for somebody you got with you. Like, just no.
Well, I'm gonna retract what I said.
Thank you.
If you're 50 years old, there's still a chance.
Let that be a first.
How about that?
Let that be a first. He's been retracting some dumb shit he done said.
Pause. Let's go back there. Let's retract what he just said. All right, guys. I don't think it was dumb.
We're just gonna retract all of it. Matter of fact.
No, hold on. But on some reality is the fact that that's being ignorant to the situation of not seeing the help that's available for you. When you sit over there and be like, man, I can't. That's it. Because in that ignorant moment of thought, that's exactly what I thought. I said, man, once I reach this age, that's it. If I don't get this going by now, I ain't never gonna get going.
Because you say that, I mean, you might as well keep on doing what you're doing. And if that's the case, what's the point in recovery?
You can always keep going, though. If you don't get it in your 20s, bust your butt to get it in your 30s. If you don't get it in your 30s, you strive for it in your 40s. Like, you're always supposed to be going up.
You saying I can always keep trying?
You can always keep.
Hold on, brother. Relax. I can always keep trying.
You can always
never
keep
give
going.
up. Just keep coming. And then one day.
No, we ain't saying about the one day. You trying to stay away from what you did.
No. I ain't even talking about that no more. I'm talking about.
The episode is called Addiction. We trying to keep you away from addiction. Now you want to go somewhere else.
Yeah, no, I was talking. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So keep on trying. As long as you're trying, you're not doing that.
I was confused. Real quick.
Say just hopped in the whip, went down the street. I didn't know what was going on.
Sidetrack.
People got the eyes on it.
Hey, where are we going with this? Wait a
I
minute.
was trying to catch up.
But no, I mean, as long as you doing the best you can to not be addicted, you should not be addicted. You know.
That's my problem too. Is that a lot of people like where they at in life. You ever had that cousin that he been popping pills since we was little. That's what he liked to do.
But you have those are what we call the functioning addicts.
Right.
Well,
they ain't even gotta be functioning.
Well, even without the addict part, like attached to it, like it's because I'm in the tattoo industry, like like we get down when we want to get down,
right?
And the ones that stick around and stay and still have a solid reputation and produce the best work, like if that's the kind of thing they dabble in, like it's not it's not really an addiction level kind of event. So I mean, like from person to person, like what is a problem and what is not, it's all subjective. So you know what I mean? Like I could have a problem with weed that like for some reason I feel it necessary to go out here and stick somebody up to go get an ounce. Like I've known people to do that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like that would be, then you talk to somebody else and it's like what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Like what's your problem? Just don't do that kind of a thing. So it's very much on the individual. And I mean, like, the main thing, biggest thing for me was just being freaking sick of being disappointed in myself. Like, if I'm gonna keep living past the age of 24 when I expected to die, and I'm gonna have to look in these mirrors every day and hate what I'm seeing more and more because of my behavior, like, that's got to change. Like, there aren't,
And that's anti-addiction.
And you just made me lost my train of thought. God dang Gucci. But for also too is we saying drugs, but it's not just drugs.
It's not just drugs.
It is especially nowadays, man. You can be addicted to Facebook,
Social media. Right?
My dad died. He was an alcoholic, right? When we went to go pick his body up, we didn't find out he was dead for 3 weeks. He was in the house dead for 3 weeks. Reason why, he was a hoarder. This
right, so that's an addiction.
That's an addiction. I mean, he had rooms stacked. I mean, I'm looking at shoes and stuff. You couldn't get into no room. And I didn't realize, as a kid, I seen it, but I didn't pay no attention. I'm like, damn, he holds on to everything. Then I got older and realized we couldn't get into grandma's house because everything was stacked up. He just kept everything. You gonna sell it? What you gonna do with it? I think that's where I get a lot of my entrepreneurial spirit from. Because as a kid, I used to watch him stack stuff up, go to the beach and sell it. And after a while, the beach was no longer around the corner. He was just holding on to shit. And holding on to shit was just his addiction.
It's a lot of people that, that's like that, or put it away and be like, nah, I'm going to use that in another couple of years, or whatever it's a lot of people that's like that. And it is an addiction.
Do what you want.
Yeah.
And it is an addiction.
It controlled his life a lot. Like, I couldn't see how he was able to get around the house. And when they found his body, he was...
And in those type of addictions, you don't notice that it's a problem until you're literally already buried in it.
Until you're buried in it.
Right.
That's how he died. He was literally buried in some boxes, and his body was decaying right there on top of the boxes, and no one knew he was dead for 3 weeks. We just hadn't seen him for 3 weeks, and they went in the house to go do a comfort check, and he was right there in front of the door, just halfway decomposed. Like,
yeah.
So
that's crazy.
That's hard.
Yeah, and it's hard, especially for people who have problems don't realize the impact that it has on
those around us.
And that's why I said, more importantly, what I said to y'all earlier, because it's the impact that your mom had. My mom had on me. The love, friends, you know what I mean? The individual, this is your brother, you know what I'm saying? So I know you felt what he was feeling and like that impact, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It was that it takes that time and a lot of prayer and patience. And really understand that when to set those boundaries, man. A lot of people, we don't know how to do it.
and even trying to find the patience, that sometimes gets to be a confusing thing because you're being patient with somebody, you're being patient with the situation, not realizing that patience is allowing the growth of the addiction. Like, all right, I'm waiting for you to, or I'm waiting for me to, but in that patience, rather than just attacking it the best way you can and just,
addressing that elephant in the room.
Yeah, that's just, you just allowing it to grow, and that elephant turns to I don't know.
I mean,
Something
but that's
bigger than one of those.
Something bigger thing.
But
yeah.
you said, but when I say the patience, I mean like, granted, definitely address it. Don't act like it ain't there because that ain't doing nothing but you being an enabler to the whole situation. But when we address it, have the patience to allow that person, because you're gonna see the true colors. The true colors are, if you want to change whatever that situation is, it's gonna take patience. All right, it ain't gonna happen overnight.
You're gonna allow it either way. That's what the patience is. It allows it to happen. That's why I feel like patience. Yeah.
I mean, I'd say like patience is cool and all, but to go to one of Danny's points, it's boundaries. Like it's, you need to decide how much you're willing to tolerate from somebody while you're waiting for them to come around to what you think they should be on the side of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it could be like, again, like when I was in it, like it was not a problem to me. Like, you know what I mean? I knew it was a problem to some other people and stuff. It wasn't really my concern at the time. Mm-hmm. So it's more, if you're gonna have the patience to wait around for them. I mean, patience or not, like as long as you got the love in your heart to welcome them back into your life, provided they do something to improve theirs, it's all good. Like if you have to take a step back to keep things healthy, like do, you know what I mean? They'll thank you for it later. Like my mom finally worked up the courage to straight kick me out the house, and I was homeless for a little while. Like, and I respect the hell out of her for it because like I was out of hand. You know what I
Because
mean?
she put a boundary.
Oh yeah,
down.
no, she put
And I
her
gotta
down.
say something more important that you said too. You set rules. You set rules for yourself. A lot of times we sit over there, man. We'll write them, but don't follow them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not even gonna write it. I'm tired of writing stuff down. I ain't in school no more. Shoot.
that's
He
crazy.
puts it in his iPhone. Notes.
Before we get up out of here,
In my
though,
Apple product.
In my Apple product.
we got to get to because this is amazing, beautiful. I wish we had more time on this job.
Look.
We got to get some of them tax things going on, man. What's
But before you say about tattoos, this man he does most of his tattoos research on an Apple product.
nobody
He's
cares
an
about
Android if you
If
have
I'm gonna be all the way, if I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Oh no, he don't. I forgot. You got
Don't
an
even
Android,
get me
dog.
going on Apple as a company. I'll fucking shred them on your podcast.
that's what I'm
Oh
talking
my
about.
God.
That's my man's
I
right there.
got some people at home right now that are waiting for me to pipe up on
We're
something.
not gonna do that on this. We're gonna make a whole new one.
Oh yeah, no, I got you on hours of
Matter of fact,
podcasts on that.
we do the Android versus Apple. You come back for that.
I got you all day.
Finally.
That would be a good one.
I mean, I'll say on the tattoo side of things, it's it's always. I mean, tattooing it, not to go all the way corny with it and say it saved my life or none of that, but that was definitely something that I kind of hung early on in getting clean. Like, because I started tattooing like right after I cleaned up, and like just the biggest thing getting into it was just like my deal to myself anyway was if I picked back up that I'd put down the tattoo machine because in my eyes I wouldn't deserve to touch anyone with it again, kind of a thing. But I mean, it's a beautiful industry. It allows me a way of life I never thought I'd be able to have. I mean, who doesn't want to live the rest of their life not having to grow up and dressing the way I want to dress, and you know what I mean, like doing cool artwork on cool people and meeting people every day. Like it's a lot. A lot of exciting things in the industry as always. A lot of amazing artists coming out now. Just the last couple generations of new artists in the industry have just been nothing less than inspiring. We just got done with the Philly convention. Such a great time. Like I just getting back to kind of like what I consider my home planet in a convention center with a bunch of people walking around that look something like me at least. Like,
I do apologize. I'm supposed to come out there with my drone and just hover over you.
No, it's all right. It's, I cleared the airspace and all that, but nah. But like it's a beautiful thing, and that's and just having the connection with people. Like I've seen, it's a weird trend in the industry, at least like for some of the younger cats that. They get like, there's a lot of memes about like getting annoyed when you go out to a bar and people start asking you about tattoos or whatever because, they hear you do tattoos, like people got questions. And that's just one of my favorite parts about it. Like even when I'm ruining my life and building it back up over again, like it's a natural in with people to connect. So no matter how on the outside of everything I feel, at the very least, like I'll just walk the street, bump into somebody, have a conversation about tattoos and feel better about something.
Yeah.
And it's it can be such an amazing impact on people's lives. I mean, I won't get into all of it. It's kind of just to get back to the businesses and do a little bit of promo. Like Rock of Aegis, one of the main concerns and just conceptualizing just the shop and the environment we want to provide. It's obvious it's one of education. It's but it's bettering ourselves every day. Like I only want people involved with us that are after that, and thankfully that's a fairly not common, but it's there enough within the industry, and it's kind of the ones with the right kind of attitude. You want to just constantly pursue perfection, knowing it's unattainable. Like be better than you were yesterday.
You just want to see growth.
Yeah, anything, like a little bit, and that's
Something
everybody
better than you was the day before.
Always, and that's it's great to be able to provide an environment where people can do that, especially one that I feel at home in. And we're doing a lot for people that just hasn't really been done in the industry. I've worked in a lot of shops in 17 years, a lot of bad ones, handful of good ones. The good ones always stick out. So it's, providing an environment where people don't have to worry about being beat up for being themselves and doing work they want to do. And you know what I mean? Like it's a lot. So we do our best to provide. We're looking this year to have 401k and health benefits provided. I'm hoping by next year, hopefully by second quarter next year, if I can get the numbers ironed out, to do paid vacation for people, and not just my manager, but for artists on the payroll as well, and just kind of making it work so we can not always be like the ones with the right work ethic. So we're not always them 12-hour a day,
Give them something to look forward to.
Kind of people, like something where we can, because the money's there. Like anybody who knows a tattooer knows like the money's decent if you do it right. And I tend to find that if your heart's in the right place and you show enough respect to clients in the art, like the money's always going to come. It's just a matter of kind of just letting things go the way they go. We're providing things to artists. We provide ink, we provide needles, we pretty much provide anything they need. If you bring a machine, you're down to come work, and if you tattoo, that's not something you find in a lot of shops. We just want the artists to be free to produce their best work, and we just want to be a part of that. I just want to geek out with my friends on cool tattoo stuff all day, every day. And I don't I'll make the money work, forget it. Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, just I'll, my business partner, I'll stay in the office and we'll crunch the numbers. Just y'all come back and have fun with me tomorrow, kind of a thing. So,
right.
That's definitely anybody trying to get a tattoo near North Cape May, near Wildwood, near Newark, Inkbound Tattoo in Newark. Phillipsburg, we got Fifth Layer Studios in Phillipsburg. We also have a location in North Carolina. Anybody
I want to grow up and be like you, man.
Like I said, like there's plenty of money in the industry for all of us. Like it's all just getting where you fit in, and especially it's 2020.
Said everybody gonna eat.
Yeah, why not? Like you know what I mean? That's why we're all on that same kind of thing sitting here right now. Like you know what I mean? Like it's all. Like we still ain't found the all the way right business venture to go all the way in on together, but like as soon as it pops up, it's done. It's a wrap. Like you might as well.
Like
Peter, I got it. Yeah, like it's the whole thing is like pursue what you love. Pursue what you love every day. And if I can help you get to it, like fuck's sake, like let me in. You know what I mean? And that's kind of. Like I said, like, and then you meet some beautiful people along the way, and you have just amazing fucking times. Like I wouldn't trade any of this for the world. Yeah, like it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I just while we're here and I got a camera, just thanks for everybody. Everybody who fucks with me, if I can say that.
Yes, you can.
You know what I mean? Like
everybody that fucks with him.
For real. Shout out everybody back home. Sassy, Kate, Gianna. Shout out Breezy. Way too many fucking states away. Come home when she finishes high school. That's just crazy. And of course, shout out Jordan, our manager, that really holds all of us down, helps me keep my head on straight, helps keep me calm. Same thing with all of them. They all have a role to play in me keeping my head on straight, me like having something to look forward to every day, me enjoying every minute of every day. Blake, the artist we just brought on recently, we parted ways last year, just met once, and it was just sort of like we should work together kind of a thing. And now he's at the shop, and he's some of the most incredible fucking positive energy I've ever experienced in my life. Like it's a beautiful thing to have him. Tessie, she worked at a local shop by us, Perigee Moon. They're also our friends. That's if you can get a book with them, go say what's up to the ladies over there. And she's been an inspiration to work with. Just watching her with Sophia, one of our apprentices, is just it's a beautiful thing, and that's it's nothing but love and growth and rad fucking artwork, and you know what I mean, and jokes and movies and music, and who the fuck don't want that in life, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So it's And if the addiction, if you get over some of that, you know, you can have a piece of it. Like that's
Absolutely.
Come on,
I think that's the biggest blessing to take from the whole situation is the fact that you created a stepping stone of prosperity from falling down. I was able to pick that up, man. I salute to you, man.
Appreciate you.
We need you. We need you out here.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Not you. But you. Side note, it's all love, man.
Shut up.
For the family that he got, this is my family right here, man. Uncle Drew, First Lady Danny, Gucci, man. It keeps me sane. It keeps me together, and I'm confident enough to say that I do the same for them as they do for each one another, man. And just having guests like you come on and really show y'all gold, y'all Garden State gold, you know, it really is a blessing and a pleasure. We appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
All right. That's why I say to all my beautiful people out there that I know, don't be afraid to, hide your talents. You know, we some talented people. I only fuck with you because you're talented. So, if you ever want to sit on the show and share your story with us sometime, holler at me in my inbox. You got me at the Lofty Groomer. You got, what's this guy's? Temptation 151. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
You can hop in our comments on our YouTube page. Inbox us. Do what you got to do, man. Definitely. Anything else somebody want to say?
If you want to tat.
If you want a tattoo, go check out the fucking dopest goddamn tattoos artist in South Jersey, hands down.
If you want to come get a tattoo, please come see us. If you want to get a tattoo somewhere else, I might be able to refer you to some friends. Just keep doing what you're doing.
You got a business venture. You trying to get that shit right. Holla at the smartest man I fucking know.
Man, we got y'all on.
And I'm pretty fucking smart.
Right before we cut out too quick, you gave us some gems earlier in the beginning of the show. Could we get those again? Those business ventures, as far as the
no, sure, just what I'm into and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. We got Rock of Aegis Tattoo. That's Roatat, ROATAT.com. Roatech, that's our technology firm. Again, anything for your business. I mean, anything day to day provided. If you need help setting up hardware, software, custom hardware, software, the business software is what we're focusing on. If you need help running your business, you want to clog down some of the bloatware on your phone, you want to shrink it down to one piece of software to help run everything you got, we can help get you there. You want to cut out just a lot of unnecessary expense. You'd be amazed at the kind of money you can save and make when you streamline everything just right. Love Rock Tattoo will be open in May in the Wildwood Boardwalk. Our sister store over there, Oxygen Tattoo. We do walk-ins 7 days a week, all day, every day. Please come through if you're looking to get something done. Quality tattoo work that I can assure you is the most readily available stuff you're going to get, and you'll have a good time with us. I promise you that. And also, obviously, Rock of Aegis this summer. We got a lot going on, man. There's check us out on the socials. Roatech, ROATECH.io, or I believe get you to our website. If not, my business partner will beat me over the head about something later. Like I said, just find the tattoo shop. We'll sort you out from there. Feel free to call the shop about any questions you got on anything. If addiction is a thing with you or someone you love, feel free to stop by the shop and talk about that. You need advice on that. You just need somebody to sympathize, to commiserate with, like whatever it may be. Just please come through. All of us have been touched in some way, just like you have, by addiction, and there may be more ways out than you think. And my people and I, we tend to be facilitators. If you need help, we know a lot of people. We know a lot of people that are willing to hire people with pasts. We know a lot of people who are willing to really go a long way to help them.
And you can be 50.
Yeah, you could be 50. We'll take you too.
Clearly, you could be 50.
Gosh darn it. Well, we're going to put all the helpful resources we got to help anyone going through addiction in our links. So that way, if you are watching and you're struggling, we're here to help best we can. Just know that we're not a crutch. We're just going to
It starts with you.
It's
always going to start with you.
But from this squad here at Choppin Up, I'm your host, Gucci. Got my first lady,
Danny.
Got my co-host,
Sincere.
My guest, Pete.
You.
Just want to say, I love y'all and good night, good day.
Next time
on Choppin It Up.
Ha! If you want the truth, Gucci gon' give it to you. If you want the truth, Danny gonna give it to you. If you want the truth, Sincere gon' give it to you. Gon' give it to you. Ha! If you want the truth, Gucci gon' give it to you. If you want the truth, Danny gon' give it to you. If you want the truth, Sincere gon' give it to you. 'Cause we're chopping it up.